Uh-oh. Look, I messed around. I'm sorry, y'all. Had the doggone mic on mute. See, that's what happens when you're playing around. Good evening, y'all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it's your boy Brian Forbes. We are live in the studio. And all I want to say is a very special good evening to Miss Linda Sanders. Linda, how are you this evening? It is wonderful to see that you made it back to your home base safe and sound. Y'all, let me I don't know how to express how amazing it is when you see somebody that supports you the way Linda Sanders supports Inside Stepping. Always on the show. Matter of fact, she's always the first one on this show. And to be able to lay eyes on her and talk to her, and more than anything else, for her to stand in front of me with prayer. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all how big that is for me. You know, it makes what I do worthwhile. Y'all, that's why I tell y'all all the time. Without you guys, I don't have anything. This show is nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Because my whole purpose, my whole and sole purpose with what I do is for the benefit of those who gain information and knowledge from this broadcast. I mean, otherwise, there's really no point in me doing this. And I want you, Linda, specifically to know how much I appreciate you. I see you, Sunshine is in the building. Hey, Riri. Linda. Hey, and the producer lady says, hey, Linda. Riri is in the house all the way from Houston, Texas. Sunshine down there in Florida. Sunshine. We got Mr. Dallas Brown in the house. Miss Lisa Luckett from Chi-Town, or should I say Indiana. How you doing? Kenneth Wynn is in the house. Thank y'all for coming through. And as always, starting out on this show, like we should always do when we begin anything, is give thanks to something or someone, depending on what your the way you do things is. But I want to give a special shout out to my man George Peterson, and Linda Lacey, and all of those who continue to do things that support this show and continue to make it worthwhile and make the difference for many of you. All of those who continue to benefit from the information and the things that we put out here. There are those who go that extra mile, and I want you guys to know very, very much that I appreciate you. So, George, my man, listen, we got to talk soon. And Linda, thank you. And for those of you who all support by purchasing shirts and things of that nature, it's always a beautiful thing, and we appreciate you. Bernice Newsom Short is in the house. What's happening? I see you, my man, David Calhoun. Y'all, we're going to have David Calhoun on the show here soon. That is, y'all know I do my little series, Someone You Should Know, and I want y'all to know who David Calhoun is, because he don't move around the country like the rest of us. He's a straight Chicago native, stump 10 toes down, my man, and I love when I have an opportunity to get some of my people that are like that in the building. DJ Kim out of St. Louis. How you doing, Kim Smith? Been a minute. And so whenever I have the opportunity to bring somebody to the forefront, so that the rest of the country kind of gets an idea of what we do, and to bring forward more information that supports the culture and the reason why we do what we do and how we do what we do. And very, very specifically and in particular, I want y'all to know tonight's show, we're going to discuss some things about our culture. Unfortunately, I feel like we are moving into a time where some things are seemingly getting lost in translation. Now, do I want to hold on to, every little detail of the past? That's a stretch. But I do believe that there are things that people should know. And I'm going to tie that all together for you a little bit later on in the show. Let me start out straight up. Patrice Robbins, y'all. Right from the very rip, Patrice Robbins. I want to start there because we're going to get deep after this. I want to do my recap of the Rose Gold set this weekend in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And baby, when I tell you a time was had, a time was had. Look at here. There is amazing energy that takes place at the Rose Gold set. I've had the fortune to experience it a couple of times now, and all I can tell you is this is one of those sets. Y'all know I've always said that I have my favorites. Unfortunately, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot of events fall off and fall by the wayside, and things happen. I mean, let's just face it. We are in very precarious times economically and for other reasons. And the simple fact is that there's about to become, and I'd like to be wrong about this. We are going to be being much more, I think, mindful of how and when and where we spend our money, especially our disposable income as we embark upon our recreational dance across this nation. And so, with that said, it is going to become more important to each and every one of us how and when we spend our energy and our dollars. And y'all know I'm always telling you to hold these promoters, these instructors, and everybody else accountable. You must hold people accountable for what you spend your money for. If you go to the store and you make a purchase and that product is not what you think it should be, then needless to say, you're going to hold accountable that store, that product, or whatever the case may be, in order that you get what you think it is worth in all actuality. You're not going to pay for something that you don't think is worth that money. And it's just as simple as that. So we have to also, when it comes to dealing with the people who we go to these events for, we have to also hold them accountable. And so I said that to say this. Patrice Robbins' Rose Gold set in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is well worth every dime. One of those sets that y'all are going to hear me as we move into the future speak more about, because she is growing. Her event is growing. The attendance was great. We had the musical engineers for this event were DJ Pony Mac, DJ Daryl Smooth Greenwood, and myself. And we received nothing but compliments from the patrons and the promoter for the weekend, and we absolutely kept everybody on the floor all weekend. We had the food. Oh my God. I don't even want to get into that. And it was Louisiana style cuisine. One of the things that I think I liked so much about this set, and it made me really think about all of the different sets and the different themes and the different things that we go and we participate in all year, every year. But at this particular set, she makes sure that you get that Louisiana experience. And the color theme, like a lot of people, people, oh, I'm tired of themes. Well, in this particular case, I think it's a great idea. We had the green, the gold, and the purple, and everybody understood the assignment. You had, man, the guys were dressed, the guys were clean. You saw guys in gold jackets and green jackets, purple shirts, and man, it looked good, man. It looked good. I really enjoyed, and what I enjoyed, I think more than anything, was that the energy, the people, the connections, the relationships. How many times have y'all heard me talk about these relationships in this community? How many times have y'all heard me discuss what it means and how important it is to establish relationships and maintain those so that the people in your circle or whatever circles you create are cordial to one another? People don't bring their baggage with them to the set. They enjoy themselves. Everybody has a good time. That goes hard, man. That goes a long, long way when you got everybody that are there and they're looking out for each other and having a real good time and able to touch each other's hands and just enjoy what is a magical atmosphere. And as far as I'm concerned, we had the magic touch, the magic number, whatever you want to call it. It was all there. Michael Austell in the building. I see you. He said he attended a few years ago. Hey, Val Wells. I haven't talked to you in a minute, baby girl. How you doing? Gina Love. What's up, Speedy? In the building. My man, William Owens. The collaboration is real. I see you, my brother. Janelle Anderson, absolutely. How you doing? Sharisa Sanders, hey. Also, William Owen says, yes, some things of the Chicago stepping culture should never change. They need to know. You know what, Will? I'm glad you brought that up because that is going to be part of my topic for tonight. So, yes, we're definitely going to touch on that because I got a couple of things that I need to get off my chest in that regard. Now, at this doggone Rose Gold set, y'all, let's talk about the second line. All right, look, we had a great. When I tell you that is some of the most amazing, that is an amazing display of the New Orleans, Louisiana culture, where those people come in and they dance and they sing and they got umbrellas and they got the scarves and they waving them things. Man, look here. That part of the set was off the chain, and then they did a Louis some type of line dance. I'm not familiar with the culture, so I can't speak on it that well. But I tell you what, it was just great. It was a great time, and man, we just had a lot of fun. I can't even express it, but I do encourage you to attend the next one if you have the means and the desire. But I can tell you, this is one of those sets. Because like I've said in the past, there are those that I don't care for the extra large sets so as much as I do the smaller ones. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking nobody's big set because I go to those too and I have a good time. But when you go to these smaller sets where it's between 200 and 300 people, man, look here. And this is one of those where you ain't gonna get nothing but love all weekend long. So if you got a problem, you allergic to love, you better not show up because you're gonna be sick. Because we going to give it to you because it's there to be had. And that's the truth. And speaking of attending this event in the future, so Patrice fire sale started Sunday morning. I'm being funny. And I'm going to tell you why I'm being funny. So we partied all night. So Sunday morning around 7:30, the fire alarm in the hotel goes off. Because somebody, nobody knows who, left some food, I guess, in a microwave. And of course, it set the smoke alarm off. And of course, it was a fire alarm. And we all outside in front of the hotel in our pajamas and otherwise looking like who woke us up. So I told Patrice, I said, if you wanted everybody to buy tickets for next year, this ain't how you have a fire sale. All you had to do was let us know. Instead, she had us all stand out in front of the hotel. She told us we couldn't go back in the hotel till we bought tickets to next year. So that was the fire sale. No, I'm joking. It's jokes. Y'all don't listen to me. It was a real fire sale. But I'm kidding. Anyway, her event is not expensive in the first place. Everything is right there in the hotel. They've even got a good restaurant, a good bar, and everything you could possibly need is there. However, I also happen to know that several people went to casinos in the area and brought back money. Yeah, I know several people who won money at the casinos over the weekend, and they was making it rain around there. So that's another good thing. Always fun. Also, we were fortunate enough to be able to hit a couple of the really good restaurants in the area, which brings me to a little bit of a sidebar, a side note that I want sort of a public service announcement. We went to a restaurant there called Paraines. Now, we had gone there the year before, and we didn't have any problems. But here's what I want to announce. Here's where I had a problem, and this is something that, again, public service announcement. So, unfortunately, without getting into my wife's medical history, she is allergic to catfish, and she had shrimp, fried, of course. And in having fried shrimp, she began to feel adverse reactions to eating the shrimp as though she had come in contact with an allergen. And I told the waiter that she wasn't feeling well and wanted to ask him, I said, is this shrimp cooked in the same grease as the catfish? He said he didn't know, and I asked him to get a manager. Well, he took his sweet time. So the gentleman with me, my man DJ Mr. Mello, who was with us, got mad and he got up and he went into the kitchen looking for the manager. Yeah, he bust through the door. And that's when all of a sudden they wanted to come and see about us. So the manager came out. And what struck me immediately was his apprehension to listen to what I was about to say. Mostly because I think they thought that we were on some type of we want our meal free type thing. Now, I'm giving y'all the name of this restaurant, so that way you don't waste your time and energy at a place where it ain't even matter if you got allergies. I don't like the way we were treated. So the guy was real, and I asked him, I said, listen, and I was trying to rush to get out of there, and they were taking their time letting us pay our bill. Like they were dragging ass. And I'm like, bro, we got to go. Because if she gets sick, it's going to be an even bigger problem. So the guy was like, I said, hey, man, I don't know about Louisiana, but in Texas, they have laws. You cannot cook. What?
I don't think it's a law.
It's a law. It's food. They have food. There's
Chicago, for sure.
In some places, they have, in a lot of these states, where you go to get your license to practice or to serve food, there's what is it, the health something? Anyway, they have to be certified to serve food. And if and it is against the law, basically. I don't want to call it against the law. Whatever it is, it goes against the standards of the health departments to cook, I think, some fish in the same grease as other things. They have to be separated. Now, he said that, he said in Louisiana, we don't have that and this, that, and the other. And so that immediately made me think to myself, well, guess what? If somebody goes into anaphylactic shock because of an allergen in your restaurant, you have nothing posted in here. You have nothing on your menu that specifically says that you have this issue. Well, guess what? You're looking at a big old lawsuit. And I told the manager, I said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, if she has anaphylactic shock or gets sicker, then before we get to the store to get some Benadryl, I'm going to sue the hell out of you. And he just said, oh, okay. And we left after, the bill got paid and we got on down. Now, I don't know what he was thinking and I don't care. But what I don't like is being treated as though I'm insignificant, and her health, anybody's health for that matter, doesn't mean anything to anybody else. Hey, Tanya Hamilton, how you doing, baby? She said, feel better, Poppy. And they said it is a food handler certificate. Thank you, Sharisa. And so here's the thing, which brings me to another point. I was at an event recently, at another Steppers event. And at that event, and I'm bringing this up because I'm not busting nobody out, and because I'm not going to say any names. I'm not, but this is what I want to say to y'all. And this is so very important. This is for everybody. It doesn't matter. This is for all of y'all because this can happen to anybody. When you are at an event, sometimes the promoters, well-meaning, with great intent, may put something like peanuts on the table. I've seen people put peanuts, potato chips, candy, breath mints, pretzels, all sorts of things. But be mindful, because we are not required as promoters, even though, and I remember Stretch used to say this all the time, as a cautionary tale to promoters, you need to have event insurance. For all y'all that's always wanting to throw these parties and you're not thinking about all the other stuff that come with it, you need event insurance, period. You unknowingly, not even thinking, you put peanuts on your table. There are people with nut allergies. And let's say, for example, nobody at that table has a nut allergy, but you eat some nuts. You put them in your hand, dump a couple of nuts, throw them in your mouth. But then you go on the floor and you dance with someone, thereby transferring the nut residue, crumbs, whatever you want to call it, onto somebody else's hands. And let's say that person has a nut allergy and they go to rub their eye or they wipe their nose and face, and now suddenly they have a shock situation. Yes, it can happen. Quick story. I have a very good friend in Georgia, real good friend of mine, who happens to be a pastor, by the way. And he and I both drove trucks, and we used to do a lot of work together all over the country. And he, unfortunately, had bad kidneys. He has to have to go to dialysis a couple of times a week. So one day, he was walking through Target and being his usual self, sweetest guy in the world. He sees a woman over there boo-hoo crying. And he goes over to her and he says, "Ma'am, is everything okay? Is there anything I can do for you?" Now, he just looked like a regular old dude. He ain't walking around with no collar on and none of that kind of stuff. You know, he's just a regular old guy. And he's walking around and he saw this woman crying. He walked over to her and he says, "Is there anything I can do for you?" Her not knowing his background. And so she starts to tell him that she was upset because her nephew was in the hospital. And the nephew was in a coma. So he turned to her and he said, "Well, listen, do you mind if I pray for you?" And she said, "Please, would you please?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am." So they stood right there in the middle of the store and he prayed for her and he prayed for her nephew and they prayed together. And then he told her, because she was inconsolable at that point, and he said, "Listen, do I need to come with you? Do you want to go over to the hospital?" And she said, "Yes, could we please?" So they go to the hospital and they get there and he prays for the young man. The kid was about 8 years old, 8 or 9 years old. He goes over there and he prays for the young man and he's praying for the family and he's doing what he does because that's the kind of guy he is, the kind of person that I miss, the kind of people that I miss in the world, the kind that care about others without looking for return or reward. And he prayed for them. So the next day, that woman, she called him. She found out that he was actually on the donors list for kidneys because of his situation. They decided to pull the plug on the boy and they donated their kidney to him. Now, I know that's a little off topic, but the little boy, the way he ended up in the coma, he and his family had been out shopping and the mother was taking her time. The boy was hungry. So she said he goes in her purse, unknowingly, unbeknownst to her, pulls out a cookie that had nuts in it. And he ate the cookie and it killed him. So my point here is that it is critical that when we're in these types of situations, and I'm saying all of this as a public service announcement, this is nothing more than an attempt at awareness. So for my promoters out there, keep this in mind when you're doing your events. And I'm going to repeat it again in the words of my man Stretch. Alex, you need event insurance. If something like that were to happen at your event and somebody got sick because of, not because this person was eating nuts, because I can tell you now, I've been around people with nut allergies. All they got to do is be in the same space as you, and they have a reaction to nuts. Not even eating them, not putting their hands on them, nothing. So I'm saying that to say that as a promoter, be mindful of these things. As an individual at a set, you might have some nuts in your purse. You might be walking around with some people love cashews. I love cashews. Some people love different types of things, a little snack in your bag. But if you get it on your hands and you go out on a dance floor and you dance with the next person, you could very easily affect their life. I know that sounds crazy and it may seem like 1,000,000 to 1, a long shot, but that's the truth. That's a fact. So y'all keep that in mind. And I only wanted to get that out because, it's just something that's necessary. Gina Love says, none of the fish is supposed to be fried in the same grease, just like chicken. And you're right, the peanut allergy, when you go to refill a bowl at those same Those same bowls are supposed to be washed before refilling. You better make sure you're using the same bowl or container, but ultimately it's supposed to be refreshed with a clean bowl. My food handler and management certificate expires this month. An event should have insurance. Are you looking for a world of trouble? Well, there you go, from somebody who knows. Yes, Kenneth Wynn, hand sanitizer, absolutely. But in the same vein, wash your hands. So protect your people, y'all. And I know it's crazy because, I mean, hell, it was a time, we used to drink water out them lead pipes on the side of the house. we did it. We ate dirt. We made mud pies. But, nowadays people get sick off of stuff. And by the way, on my way home, I just want to say I was able to do one of my favorite things. Well, two things. We had a restaurant that we went to. And on my way home, I was able to pick me up a couple of pounds of gator meat. And baby, when I tell you I love me some gator, and every time I get to go to Louisiana, yes, sir, that's what the hell going on. Now, to round out Patrice Robbins' Rose Gold set, we had Ted Williams and Gumby teaching walking classes, and Ted did a workshop. So it was really good, y'all. I encourage you to attend the Rose Gold set at your next opportunity. We had a ball, and so will you. Yeah, and tell them Inside Stepping sent you. Y'all, I can't see a daggone thing. Let me see. I can't even read my own writing sometime, y'all. Now, here's what I want to talk about tonight. I noticed, I don't even want to say I noticed. I want to say that every time you turn around, we got somebody else that is wanting to give a set, be a promoter, be a DJ, and the list goes on, right? Hey, Norma Wilson, I see you, Ernestine Johnson, in the building. What's happening? Who else we got on here? I think we talked to all them people already. Bernice Newsom Short, how you doing? So we have all of these, different things that keep coming up. And I'm a firm believer, that people should expand themselves and do more in the community. But here is my question to those people. Oh, and before I go there, let me give a quick shout out. Shout out to the Fun Girls, y'all. The Fun Girls was on deck in full effect and cutting up sideways like they always do. Normal, my girl Normal over there, Wilson, my girl Deborah Edwards, and Crystal May, and my girl Q. And let me tell you something. They was off the chain, like always. Y'all need to meet the Fun Girls. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I got a good picture of them this time. I'm gonna put it on my page. So when you are wanting to give these events, and even not knowing about little things like what I just said about event insurance and things like that, like Val Wells says, there's too many and they're getting cutthroat. You start to ask yourself, or at least I ask myself, and I'm gonna tell you something. This kind of thing makes the difference of whether I participate or attend these types of events. My biggest question to anybody that's doing an event: why? What exactly is your purpose? And here's why I'm saying that, because there's only two reasons people do these events, and that means locally or nationally. First of all, if you haven't built anything locally, you probably should forego the national thing. And I'm not saying you can't. I'm not the event police. But all I'm saying is it takes time to build things up. And if you're not building within your own community, are you really benefiting? Who are you benefiting? So you're either doing this for one of two reasons: for money or for the love of the dance. Sometimes both. But simple fact is, what's the real draw? Are you trying to build a better mousetrap? Then you have people within the same city who all want to get in on the action. And they see somebody else doing it and they think, ooh, I could do that. And the next thing you know, you got 4 or 5 different factions fighting each other, sometimes stepping on each other's toes. And all I want to know is why create that level of confusion? Now, I want to take it to another level. Let's talk about instructors. Do y'all know how many people that I have met in my lifetime that want to call themselves instructors? Now, you can call yourself anything you want. You can sell people, coerce people, cajole people to come and be a part of whatever it is that you're trying to do. But the question becomes, why? Now, I understand people doing things out of necessity. And here's what I mean by that. If you're in a region, an area, a city where there is no instructor, or the person or people who are attempting to instruct aren't doing it correctly, the first thing you got to ask yourself is, are you actually better at doing what they're doing before you even jump out there? Number one, what is the purpose? Are you doing this because the city needs it, or because you think you could do a better job, or because you think that it's going to make you more popular and you're going to get some money out of it? What's the real reason? I've found that the average person who calls themselves an instructor can't even teach the complete dance. In fact, don't even know what the complete dance is. And if you ask them, they can't explain it to you. So let me back up. And y'all have heard us talk about this in depth on this show before. There are people who can stand in front of you and say, do this, but they cannot articulate what it is that you're doing. They cannot explain it, which takes me to what I discussed at the very beginning of this show. How are you going to be able to teach something that you really don't know? Have you placed yourself in a position to be mentored by an individual that actually knows? Are you just teaching because you feel like it, or are you benefiting your community? I've watched people call themselves instructors and they expect it for the people that already knew how to do what they was teaching to support their class and be like, well, I'm an instructor now. Y'all need to come here. For what? What are you teaching to these people already? Look, all these endless, repetitive, endless instructions, it don't take all that. You got one process here. You learn the basic dance, and then you make it your own, your style. Nobody else can do that. No two people are going to have the same style. But when your foundation is solid the way that it should be, which you should be able to get within 9 to 12 months, and I think I'm being generous, once you have that and it's locked in, everything else you do after that are not foundational moves. They're your moves and your dance. It don't take all that. I'm just saying. Shawnette Haywood VZ. What's up, Dr. Butterfly? She says, stepping instructors don't make that much, in my opinion. Other dance style instructors charge 3 times the price. Other than that, a lot if stepping instructors have bad attitudes. I have to agree. And in fact, since we talking about money, that's a good idea. I'm going to interview her one day. Since we talking about money, let's keep it a buck. Nothing in the stepper community is bargain basement compared to other genres of dance. Let me explain why. Just as an example, the DJs don't get paid enough. The instructors and have the nerve to be fighting to make nothing. I know DJs that literally, if they take off a weekend, if they take off a Friday and a Saturday to come DJ a set somewhere in another city, they losing money because they make more money doing their job. They do it out of love for it. But you also have other DJs that are not as good, but will do it for free, which also creates more confusion and turmoil because they disrespect what I'm going to get to about this entire thing I'm talking about tonight, because they disrespect the culture. You got instructors out here, and I'm saying instructors and promoters, who do not respect the culture of stepping. And one of the biggest problems I got with several of these people is that if you're going to instruct anything, if you're going to DJ anything, in order to be a steppers DJ, you have to understand this culture. If you're going to be good at it, if you're going to be a stepping instructor, if you have not taken the time to immerse yourself in this dance, in the city of Chicago, in the dance, and understand how these people move and what's going on within this culture, don't think about trying to teach stepping. Because when you put these people, move them forward, they lost in the sauce. They don't know what's going on. And y'all are giving this game a black eye. You can't teach what you don't know. Stop that. Let the people who understand what they're doing do this, and let's keep this thing on the rails. Because I personally don't want to see the dance lose any more traction than it already has. I don't want to see, people coming up in this game thinking they got the game on lock. I personally, over the last few years right here where I live, I've seen people call themselves the best of this and the best of that. Ain't never been to Chicago a day in their life. And then if they had, they still don't know where the bodies are buried. Look, y'all, we got to get back to roots. We got to get back to the groundwork. We got to get back to what's real, and I'm encouraging people, build your relationships. If you want to do some of this stuff, find somebody that knows what they're doing, that's got a history at it or some type of knowledge, and learn. Huh?
This is not off the instruction, but like she has mentors to be a promoter. Devin and Tommy are mentors.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Good point. Now, it's funny, while we were at the Rose Gold set this weekend, shout out to Patrice Robbins, who made it clear during her thank yous in her announcements that she had Devin Smith and Tommy Smith, them Texas boys, who are on their 10th anniversary for Black and Bling this year, as a matter of fact, as her mentors. These are the people who help her navigate the shark-infested waters of promoting a steppers event. So guess why her event has been successful? Because she missed all of the slings and arrows that could have come her way. She was able to avoid a lot of nonsense simply because she had people that helped her understand where she was and what she was doing. Now, you got people who will sit up there and they say things like, you shouldn't do this. You don't know nothing. Well, I'm going to say this. It ain't so much of what you know, but who you know. And when you connect it in with the right people, and you got the right people that are helping you to, let me put it this way, you can swim across the shark-infested waters, or you might have a homie with a boat. You crossing the water, but you're going to get there faster and smoother with somebody that know what they're doing. That's all I'm saying. Y'all can figure that one out. Jamila Salim said, and what's so strange is all the instructors teach different and the pile on so many details, yet when you look at the dance floor, everybody dances and looks the same. Make it make sense. Well, Jamila, see, that's the thing. We are in a process of organization and in a process of standardization, which is what's necessary at this stage of the game. Y'all know how I feel about people who go around, selling themselves all the time. But most of these instructors not only can't teach the complete dance, they don't know both sides of the dance. They don't know how to teach, the men, for example. They don't know how to teach the men to lead. A lot of men, one of the biggest problems in the stepper scene is that the men are not good leaders, but that's only because there are not enough of the men to teach it. Because that's another story for another day. But here's the bottom line: are you having fun? If you can go through this without taking yourself so seriously that you're worried about every step you take and every move you make, you'll get this dance a lot faster. I think a lot of people get caught up in the whole, are they watching me? I saw another situation where a young lady was asked to dance, and she told the person, I only dance with my husband. And then after she saw him dance, she said, oh, I didn't know you danced like that. We could dance. No, go dance with your husband. We all start somewhere. Problem is, she didn't know who this guy was. She didn't understand he's one of the coldest dancers out there. Why? Because she didn't know. Why didn't she know? Well, that's another story for another day. Who knows? None of my business. But my point is this. What difference does it make? So what if he was new? So what? If all the guys who actually were seasoned dancers blew the ladies off because you were new at the dance, they never saw you and they didn't know you, where would we be right now? We all have to understand that we had a beginning. Matter of fact, Shawnette Haywood VZ, Miss Dr. Butterfly, I remember when she started out stepping. Look at her now. She around here winning contests. I mean, the bottom line is, if we're not here having fun, what are we here for? What is the point? The whole purpose of this is a partner couple dance. It is a social event, not who can dance the best. This is not a contest. These events are not contests. Unless you're in a contest, none of this matters. Miss Patrice Robbins, how are you? She just showed up. Patrice, I already talked about you real bad. You're going to have to go back and watch it. I'm just kidding. But you have to be enjoying yourself. If you're not doing that, if you come to the set and you just beat up your girlfriend, or your girlfriend just beat you up, or it's an issue going on in your life that's so terrible that you're going to treat people bad, or you're going to be in your feelings, I'm going to personally ask you to stay home. Please don't bring that energy to the set with you, because the rest of us intend to enjoy ourselves, and we got way too much other things that we want to be doing rather than coddling you because you feel some kind of way. Shawnette says, if you can dance, you should be able to have fun with anyone unless they are they are too rough or drunk. Now, there you go. Now, and I'm going to tell y'all like this, Dr. Butterfly, I don't think it's ever been a time I've seen her dance where she didn't look like she was just having a ball. I don't care who she was dancing with. Always got a smile on her face. And that's somebody you want to be dancing with. Lisa Luckett said, I'm having an absolute blast. Absolutely, Lisa. That's what I'm talking about. And so we still have to embrace one another and take care of the business and do what we need to do. Regina Freeman says, dance with everyone. We sharpen each other. Absolutely. That's it right there. You got to be in good company. And if you got issues, man, I mean, because hell, we all got problems. I don't know nobody who don't. But I'm going to say again, when you don't understand this culture and you don't understand what's going on in this culture, you do yourself a disservice. You do the rest of the community a disservice, particularly when you're trying to do something in the community that you probably shouldn't be doing. And I got to say this. If you're a promoter and you are struggling to pay your DJs, you're struggling for your event space, you're struggling in any kind of way, and you got to depend on ticket sales, and all this type of thing, you probably shouldn't be giving an event. If you don't have a bankroll, because I'm gonna tell you something, it shows whether you want to believe it or not. And nowadays, we're not sure who's gonna show up or how they gonna show up. But if you got to jump through 9,000 kind of hoops in order to make your event come off, maybe you should wait till next year. Stack your bread and just wait. And that's not, I'm not trying to discourage anybody, but I'm seeing way too much crazy stuff going on. We got a lot of people out here that want to be one thing or another. We got a lot of people out here that, for their own personal sociopathic reasons, are doing a lot of things that they probably shouldn't be doing. And it gives all of us a black eye when we go out of our way to make sure that we try and support these things. And I'm gonna be frank with you, some of it don't deserve being supported. Some of it is trash, just straight up. Matter of fact, I just might as well not even. Ain't no need me going down the sugar-coated highway. Some of this stuff is trash, and it's too much of it. I mean, we're getting to a point where a lot of people are getting passes for stuff that they really should not be doing, and a lot of that needs to just stop. I've said it before, that you got a lot of people out here whose egos far exceed their skill set. And, take a look in the mirror and think about whether or not you should be doing what you're doing. And that's just straight up. That goes for instructors, promoters, DJs. We got a lot of people trying to come out on the DJ scene, which I don't have a problem with any of it. But be smart enough to find somebody to give you the game and immerse you in our culture, in our history, so that you understand your purpose for what this is, and not just think that you're going to be on some kind of a money grab, or all of a sudden everybody going to fall in love with you because you're that dude. Stop with the pipe dreams. This ain't that. You got a lot of people running around here. Like I know of one particular super arrogant individual who I just assume stomp his ears together. But why you always telling me what ain't necessary? It's necessary. See, that's part of the problem. People, don't be trying to shame nobody. Let me tell you something. That's the problem now. It ain't enough shame in the game. It ain't enough people that's ashamed no more. That's the whole problem. It's a whole bunch of people need to be ashamed. That's why we coming up. That's why all this trash is out here now. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You got people out here who think they could talk any way they want. They think they can do anything they want, and there are no consequences and repercussions. But simple fact is there are. Now, whether or not the time come where they suffer those consequences remains to be seen. But you got folks out here that they're not what they say they are. I can't stand a snake oil salesman. I can't stand grifters. They get on my damn nerves. I can't stand a carnival barker running around here. I this and I that. And I. Man, go sit your ass down somewhere. I had a joker tell me, "Oh, you don't know nothing. You just a dude on the camera." Let me tell you something. You don't know my history, Playboy. And if you keep running your mouth, I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm just saying. All right, what?
I didn't say nothing.
Man, look.
I didn't say one word.
So, at the end of the day, one thing about Brian Forbes, what you see is what you get. Don't nothing about me change. And just because you don't see me dance, don't think I ain't got it. Don't think I don't know what I'm talking about. Trust me on that. Like I said again, I can show you better than I can tell you. So at the end of the day, I just want to see people respect this culture. Respect this dance. Come do it, have fun, and go home. It don't take all this other stuff. It just don't. It's just that simple. It don't. Back when I first started doing this dance, and I'll repeat it again, the dance was not the focal point. It was a byproduct of a lifestyle. But we had fun, and that's why, because wasn't nobody laying up there going on about, that dude can't dance. Didn't nobody do all of that. That ain't how this went. But see, when you don't understand this culture, you don't know that. It takes someone to explain it to you, or you need to be there, immersed in it, to understand how the people who grew this thing to where y'all have the opportunity to enjoy it in other cities across this nation and keep it in its proper perspective. All that mixing it up with two-step and swing out and ballroom and all this other stuff. No. We're steppers. Period. Point blank. Full stop. That's it. That's all. All that other stuff, gone with all that. Now, I don't disrespect nobody else's stuff because it ain't my lane. I would be disrespectful as hell if I showed up at somebody's set, somebody where they doing two-step. Shout out to my man Jerry Palmer up there in Dallas. He's a swing out, the king of swing. That is his moniker, period, despite anybody else that call themselves that. That's who he is. He and I had this discussion, and I told him, I said, man, look here. It would be super disrespectful for me to come into y'all's environment and even think about talking about y'all's dance. I don't know nothing about that. And I know to stay in my lane. I would never do that. And I definitely would never say, oh, well, y'all having a swing out event? Well, I'm going to bring some steppers with me. Why would I do that? It's not a steppers event. Now, I'm not trying to say be on no, division. Everybody needs to stay in their own lane, but in a way I am. Steppers keep it stepping. Period. All that extra stuff and teaching wrong and lying to people and telling them this is that and this is that, and you don't even know yourself. Let me tell y'all something. You know how many people I've met who try to make it seem like they were steppers during its inception or heyday, and they get to dropping names and talking about all the places they've been and all of that, when in fact, half of these people didn't even know what stepping was before 2000. I'm not going to get upset. All I'm saying is, y'all, things have to be in their proper perspective in order for this dance to continue to thrive and grow the way that it's supposed to. The minute you get away from what is the basic dance, the basic foundation of this dance, you start doing something else, it ain't no problem, but it ain't stepping. Call that something else. We don't care what. Ain't none of our business. But it ain't stepping. Let's just remember that. So I'm just saying we need to try as hard as we can to maintain the integrity of the dance that we love so that it moves on into the future the way that it should and gains the respect in the dance community globally that it should, because this is a beautiful dance. This is a beautiful connection between our people that gives us pleasure and joy and camaraderie. Let us not destroy that by trying to do things that don't fit within our culture, by trying to reinvent the wheel, by trying to make it be something that it is not. Just stop it. And the only time I ever see people trying to do that, it's always somebody that's not from Chicago. They always think, well, I can do this in this dance. Why? Because they don't understand the culture of the dance anyway. They're not from there. They've never been there. They don't know nothing about it. So now they want to try and make this be something else. This is not that. It doesn't need evolution. It doesn't need your input to change whatever the foundation is. You want to come up with a triple Lindy double hop turn? That's fine. Long as you get back to the foundation. As long as when you lead a lane to do them flips, you come back in the lane and you understand where you at in the dance. It's okay. But you got to get back to the foundation. Period. That's it. This the dance. That's what it is. Sunshine Hayward said that this dance is a history and a culture, and why respect and embrace the history, especially if you profiting off of it. Good point. And you got people that are definitely trying to profit off of it and don't respect it. And that I definitely got a problem with. So I'm going to get off my soapbox because I've been ranting for too long already. But once again, Patrice, you did a fabulous, fabulous job this weekend. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Everybody from my camp absolutely enjoyed themselves. I've heard nothing but praises and kudos that go out to you for your event. We had a fabulous time, and we look forward to next year. So get ready. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been to the Rose Gold set in Baton Rouge, you need to get ready for when Patrice put that fire sale up, because I'm telling you now, you're going to have a daggone ball. And, oh, really? I didn't know that. Well, she only sells a certain amount of tickets for the fire sale, but I can tell you this, all things considered, man, the event was phenomenal. I think, because y'all know I got my top 5, I'm thinking Rose Gold is going to probably be up in that top 5 after this year. This year here, I think she moved up in my ranks. So shout out to you, Patrice, on your set, and congratulations. You did a fabulous job, and I have nothing but praises for the event that you put on. Okay, I think, wait a minute. Patrice Roberts said, Mr. Bryan, let y'all know the fire sale. Oh, it's carnival time. 26 will be. She said the fire sale for, it's carnival time. I don't know what that means, Patrice. Anyway, the 26th, carnival time 26 will be Monday. Yeah. I'm guessing that's probably a typo because of, autocorrect. Anyway, fire sale coming up, y'all. Pay attention. Patrice Robbins. Go to her page. Patrice Robbins. Rose Gold set. Let them know if you can tell them you coming through for Inside Stepping. Anyway, great event. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a promoter, a DJ, an instructor in this game, I highly encourage you, if you have not already, and I'm saying that because I'm going to say this again, people are entitled to call themselves whatever they want. We are not the gatekeepers of titles. You can call yourself whatever you want, but if you want to actually be that, then you should act accordingly, get the right information, and find out what you need to know in order to wear that moniker honestly and not be like you impersonating the police or something. Monisha Parker says the sale will start on Monday, February 10th, 2025. So that's when the fire sale will begin, y'all. I'm telling you now, Rose Gold, off the chain. I think I'm done. I think I done said enough. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Because I generally don't apologize for being, for when things upset me. But what you can't do is call yourself a stepper and a part of this community and be disconnected from the mothership. You got to know where the ship took off from. You got to know this. If you don't know where it came from, you definitely ain't going to know where it's going. Reconnect to the mothership. Kind of like reconnecting to the motherland, you dig. Understand what you're doing. Don't just be doing something just to be doing it. Yeah, it's fun. I'm swinging around. I'm spinning all the place. Why? Understand what you're doing. Find out from somebody. Look, I challenge y'all. There are a couple of people out here who literally can give you a conversation about stepping, a real conversation, not one of them petty ones about where they was at when they was dancing and how they started, a real conversation that explains this dance to you in ways that make sense, in ways that will change your perspective to the degree that you understand what you're doing and how important that it is. A lot of people don't get what I'm saying right now because they haven't experienced it yet. But you need to do that. You need to have that conversation. I'll never forget one day I had somebody with Poppy and I had somebody with us and a conversation took place. We went by a stepper's house in a particular city and we were literally sitting there on the couch, just chopping it up. Myself and 3 or 4 other individuals whose names I will not name, people that are well known in this community. And it was a simple conversation, all from Chicago. And when we left that place, that person said to me, I just learned more in these last 2 hours than I have in the last 2 years about this dance. You feel what I'm saying to you? And when you understand where you are and how this thing is rooted and the truth about it, not these people who are out here making up lies, these snake oil salesmen, and telling you things that are so dumb and basic that they've overheard somebody else say and they're regurgitating what they heard. I'm talking about real conversation. When you get that, you'll know the difference. And it's kind of like how in the movie Malcolm X, Minister Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you don't have to condemn. And this is the reason why y'all don't hear me talking bad about some of the people that I could. He said, you don't have to condemn the dirty glass. All you have to do is set a clean one next to it. So I'm encouraging you to find that clean glass and you make the decision about what's good for you. And you can never go wrong from that. All right, it's time for me to go. Myra Mitchell, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a while. Drew Thomas in the building. Well, I mean on the show. I hadn't seen her on the show in a while. I mean, maybe I don't know. I haven't seen her name up here in a while. I'm glad you tuned in, young lady.
Saw this week.
I know I did. I'm saying I'm glad you tuned in. Anyway, ES in the house. How you doing? So with that said,
I want to say this: everybody represents their city well too. The live in Baton Rouge.
yes, they
Very
represented.
friendly,
They definitely represent.
hospitality.
You know what? That's a good point. You know what? All of the people. Let me give a shout out to the people around Baton Rouge. All of Patrice's team. Man, listen here. Y'all were on point. Nice, hospitable, caring. Made sure everybody had what they needed. Y'all was dead on with that one. Dead on point. That's another highlight. See, and that goes back to what I said before, too. When you connect with the people in your city and you're doing this the right way, you don't have all of these different divisions and all this stuff that goes on with people in these different cities and they're all fighting and backbiting with each other. Ted Williams, the boss, is in the building. Man, Ted, you all late. The show finna go off, man. Coming here, strolling in here all slow.
That's how he walked.
Ted had on a velvet suit this weekend, y'all. It was bad, too. He's like, what is that, velvet? Nice suit, Ted. I like that. If you was as tall as me, I had to come get that one. Monisha Parker, you are very welcome. Thank you. Now you saying thank you, we saying thank you. Because it's great when you can go to a city and everything goes as smoothly and as cool. And let me tell you something. And the Fun girls, oh my God, they had a ball. Look, people came there, won money at the casino, all of that. We just had a good time all the way across the board, man. It was just great. I have nothing but praises and thanks for what you guys put on. Let's see. We are, oh my God. Dante Fudge. He said, that's true about women can't teach women to follow because I am in Milton on Mondays. They are so insecure about their instructions. They have told some students not to dance with men who try to teach. I'm not sure, but what this message tells me, well, I believe it may be some typos in there because, you got autocorrect, but I'm going to say this right here. 9 times out of 10, who's ever teaching that class ain't got no business teaching. Period, point blank. They're saying that they're insecure in their instruction. Why? Because they shouldn't be instructing in the first place. And I don't care who it is. That's a fact. So again, and the sad part, this is the most tragic part about that, what he just said to me. You have people who literally don't know the difference, and they're taking instruction from somebody who's supposed to know this stuff. And now they're developing all these bad habits, doing everything wrong. And all of us now, they got to actually go somewhere. This is how a lot of people get turned off from the dance too, especially men. Men already are a hard group. But when you get somebody who don't know what they're doing, the men are like, okay, there's too much confusion. Men are more structured than women. Women get the dance easier. Why? Because women have a basic dance that they have to stick to. Problem is when you get men who don't understand the lead, don't know how to lead, don't know where they're supposed to be, don't know where to be putting the women. I could go on all day. And you got another man that's showing them this trash. And they have to come out here in the world and try to dance with other people. How many times have we seen people who start dancing somewhere and then go somewhere else and be like, I didn't learn none of that. Why? Because you was working with somebody who knew nothing about what they were doing, but they was taking your money every week. I guarantee you that much. They take your money every single week. They gonna do that without fail and know absolutely nothing. Nothing. It's sad. And I guarantee you this too. Those people that you're talking about, they don't watch shows like this. They don't pay no attention to stuff like this. And they'll have those people believing that they know what they're doing and they absolutely know nothing. And the minute they get in front of somebody, and then you got to remember too, when you're in these types of environments, a lot of times these people that they're teaching, they don't even know there's other people out here stepping. They don't know where the other places to go stepping is. They tell them, oh, don't go over there. Or they don't know nothing about traveling to go stepping. So all they have is the nonsense that this individual has called stepping that they're giving them. It's tragic. It's sad. And Kathleen Rose Davis said, and sometimes for years, and they can't dance a lick. Ask me how I know, because I know some. Teaching you to dance like themselves, yeah. Black Knight, great show as usual. I'll be connecting with you in the near future in regards to me having an event for my 75th birthday. Black Knight, I look forward to it. Please let me know, sir. Absolutely. And so, you know, it's y'all know I get in trouble. I try not to overstep and say too much. But my goal and my purpose here, let me be clear, is to provide you all with a point of reference. When you have nothing to compare something to, it's kind of like taking a photograph. You ever see people take those pictures where you take a picture of the moon and you got your finger up like this and it look like the moon is in between your fingers? That's perspective. But if you were closer or you took a long lens and you took a shot of the moon, it'd be way bigger, right? So my point is, perspective is everything. And it has to be put into its proper perspective. You have to understand that if you take a picture of an object on a white background, you don't know how big the object actually is, because there's nothing in that picture to show you a point of reference. You put a Coke can next to an ink pen to give you perspective. You have an idea how big a Coke can is. So you got, okay, that ink pen is that small. I got it. But if you take a picture of a display Coke can out on the street that's 80 feet tall, how you gonna know? Unless there's something next to it. This is the way this dance is. If you don't have something next to it to show you, this show is for perspective. It is to give you the idea that if this person is calling themselves an instructor, well, this person over here actually is an instructor. Do this person look like this person? Let me put it to you this way. I'm ready to really give you the game. If you go to an instructor and you may not know them, and I'm saying this because, yes, there are some instructors out here who are not well known. They didn't win the world's largest, but they know what they're doing. But if you go to an instructor, here's the question you have to ask them. This is for everybody. Listen to me. Where's their product? Every person that asks you for money are providing you with something. Tell them to show you where are the people who came before me that you instructed. I want to watch them dance. If they cannot provide you with a list of people who they had their hands on, taught them this dance, not just gave them a workshop or had them do a couple of turns, show me their students. Show me their product. If they can't do that, run. Find you another instructor. That's all I'm saying. That's a point of reference. That's all you got to do. Tell them. If they can't show you who they people are, they can't show you a product of their teachings. Come on now. Man, I got the best hand grenades in the world. Well, show me something one of them blew up. I'm just saying. I need to see product. I need to see receipts. I need receipts, baby. Look, Sunshine say, now you're going to really catch the grifters on their BS. That's right. I'm telling y'all what to look for. They want to tell you, they instructor, they know what they doing. Show me your students. I want to see them dance. I want to see them on the set.
Luckett is having a student instruction contest, right?
Yes, Lisa Luckett. Miss D Knight, you're absolutely right. Lisa Luckett, shout out to my girl up there in Indiana. Lisa Luckett is about to have an instructor-student competition. Y'all, we will be in the building. As a matter of fact, Inside Stepping is sponsoring the third place prize. So y'all need to get yourselves together. Tony Dowd has already committed himself. What?
I said, wait a minute, what we doing?
Tony Dowd already has committed himself to bringing a student. Now, check it out. These instructors, they call themselves instructors. They supposed to be so cold. Bring them students. Come on down. Bring them. Show us how good you are. Now, you want to worry about who's in competition. Find out who the instructors were who brought their students that was able to compete against other students and know that they are a real instructor. There's other ways to vet somebody. Just because they tell you, we got people in this community who lie, claiming they from Chicago and they from weird places like Kansas and Oklahoma and all sorts of other weird places. They can't tell you 2 streets in a city. They can't tell you who people that they know from the side of town or Chicago, none of that. And I've seen it with my own eyes. They lie. They flat out lie. Oh, I'm from Chicago. But see, what happened was, no, stop. Stop it. Y'all don't believe every damn thing you hear. When these people will lie flat out. Why? They want your money. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to say, like I always do, at the end of the day, all you got to do is ask somebody from Inside Stepping about certain things. We will give you the information. We have no problem with that. Because what I don't want to see is people getting took to the cleaners and lied to and just flat out being treated bad in this community. So, I'm not going to, ask questions. You ain't got to ask me. Find somebody else and ask them. Find somebody that's legitimate, credible, and has the answers. When these other people get to telling these lies and talking about what all they did, if they overselling, red flag. I'm this and I did that and I was the first and I, me, I. Run like hell. All right, I gotta go. Listen, y'all, it's been a great show for me because I was able to get a couple things off my chest. And I hope that I have helped someone. As always, that is my goal. Somebody got something out of this, and that's all I care about. In the meantime and in between time, I'm going to call it quits right here. I'm going to see y'all again on next Tuesday. I'm not sure what our next event is. I got to look at the calendar, but we got stuff coming up, y'all. Matter of fact, don't y'all forget, Labor Day weekend, we will be in Chicago, Illinois for the homecoming. It is going to be the biggest stepper set in history. That is just my opinion on it. And it ain't just an opinion because the numbers don't lie. The numbers is numbering. My last check, which was a couple of months ago, Irie told me they had sold over 800 rooms. And that doesn't even include the people that I already know are already in Chicago that's coming. Every major DJ, every major instructor, and most promoters will be in that building on Labor Day weekend. So you need to consider it because this is going to be a clinic in stepping. I promise you, this is not something you want to miss. Week before that, we'll be in Little Rock, Arkansas with Ted Williams. We got a few other events in the meantime and in between time. Don't y'all forget about my girl Lisa Luckett. She got the contest coming up. We got a lot of stuff happening. Of course, we're going to be at the world's largest. We got Texas Heat, Black and Bling coming up here in May. We're going to be in Vegas in, what's that, June, baby, right? We'll be in Vegas in June out there with, daggone it. I hate when names slip my mind. Sandra. We'll be out there with Sandra in Vegas for her event coming up. So I'm gonna do a list of events coming up. So that's what's happening. But in the meantime, and in between time, y'all, I gotta go. I keep saying I gotta go. Robert Brooks, what's up, man? That's my dude right there. I gotta go. But thank y'all. Erica Nicole, I see you. That my girl. That look, I met your girl from Philly over there. One of the Emerald Set queens. They doing a big thing with the Emerald Set, y'all. Always a good time. I'm not doing no more. I gotta go. Y'all have a good night. I love everybody. I love y'all. Even though sometimes I'm a little abrasive. That's just how I am. I'm a little abrasive. I know. But this is me, y'all. What you see on here is what you get in them streets. Don't nothing about me change. I don't switch up. I am who I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Anyway, toot. That's right. I want y'all to have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. Keep it on the wood, y'all. Before you do anything else in stepping, have fun. Have fun and respect the game. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace out. The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of its hosts, Urban Arts Enterprises, its advertisers, or affiliates, and are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. Never measure an event by the quantity of the people in attendance, but by the quality of memories you create with the people who are present. And that's Brian Forbes.